Hello, friends. Welcome to CalmCast. Today on my channel, I have invited an eminent guest, a veterinarian, Dr. Dinesh Vinherkar. Now, these episodes are curated under HIML, that is Human Intervention Major Loopholes category. Let me just read out about his contribution towards conservation. He started his first exotic pet animal practice in Mumbai. Dr. Vinherkar is BVSC and AH from Mumbai Veterinary College. He is also MVSC in medicine from Mumbai Veterinary College. Attended many international conferences for exotic animals. Started India's first of its kind sea turtle treatment and transit center, which is in Dahanu, in association with the Forest Department, Government of Maharashtra. Made artificial flipper for sea turtle to improve swimming ability in injured sea turtles. He is currently working as a visiting consultant for injured sea turtle treatment and transit center for more than 12 years. Working as a visiting physician and surgeon at in Defense of Animals and NGO for 20 years. He is also a visiting consultant at Bhavan's Nature and Adventure Center Park. He runs a small animal exotic treatment clinic in Santa Cruz, which is successful running since 2004. So now over to Dinesh about the particular topic that we are covering today is bird feeders. Welcome Dinesh, Dr. Dinesh. And a very, very good evening to you.
Good evening to you also.
My first question is about the bird feeder of introduction of bird feeders. So what exactly do you think about what are bird feeders and why do people install them?
See, if you'll see that way, then bird feeders are nothing new. Okay, from very old era, this bird feeding practice is going on, and many people, like you can say, in 17th and 18th era, there was a tradition of feeding birds, and many kings in their gardens and in even
Yes.
in different areas
Correct.
they used to keep water and seeds for birds, and it was something like feeding a spiritual aspect. They wanted to connect with the nature
Nature.
by some way, giving it something
Right.
back to the nature. So that way it has started, and many people then started enjoying feeding birds.
Yeah, I can.
And
Yeah, I can. I
yeah,
could relate
so-
that when we say the backyard
yeah,
and the front yard.
yes,
Old houses definitely had
right.
that. And
So slowly this trend started getting more
oh,
popular
nice.
and popular, because you can get all the birds which are around your house to your window by just keeping some bowl of seeds and water, which created more interest in studying these birds. So many societies slowly developed, many groups of enthusiastic people gathered together, and they started educating people about awareness related to the surrounding birds, and how they can observe them, how they can get more information about them by just feeding few grains of seeds and get them close to their window. And then slowly this tradition has become hobby, as well as a material for study.
Correct.
So many other researchers and scientists also started observing birds, and a different era started
Yeah.
where, as a hobby as well as a study,
Yeah.
it started helping people to understand the behavior as well as the living pattern of
Okay.
these birds
Okay.
more closely. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say that most of these old traditions, like I might go little vernacular also in between, like मराठी मध्ये पण आपण बोलू मध्ये थोडंफार
नक्कीच.
की
हो.
मध्ये
हो.
कसं की शेणाने सारवलेलं घर असेल तर गृहिणी बाहेर सुपाने हे तांदूळ सडायची किंवा
हो.
गहू सडायची तेव्हा थोडेसे उरलेले कोंबड्या खायच्या किंवा पक्षी खायचे चिमण्या येऊन खायचे तर त्या
अगदी.
त्याच संदर्भात तुम्ही सांगतायत की
नक्कीच.
पूर्वीपासून चालून आलेले हे ट्रेडिशन्स आहेत मग आता आपण
हो.
ह्याला जार्गन दिलंय की हे बर्ड फीडर्स आणि
राईट.
कमर्शियलायझेशन पण झालेत म्हणजे त्याच्यात सुद्धा
बरोबर.
प्लास्टिक हे आलेलं आहे
हो.
त्याच्यात सुद्धा काही बर्ड फीडर्स आलेत ते बरेच टाईप्सचे असे डिफरंट इन्स्टॉलेशन झालेत मग त्या संबंधात सुद्धा तुमचे काही व्ह्यू पॉइंट्स असतीलच की ते हानिकारक आहेत इज इट good that we use those bird feeders, or it won't be?
माझ्या दृष्टीने बर्ड फीडर हा एक प्रकारचा ऑब्जेक्ट झाला, ज्यातनं तुम्ही तुमचं जे ध्येय आहे बर्ड
हा,
फीडिंगचं ते साध्य करू शकता.
राईट.
कारण प्रत्येक बर्डला वेगवेगळ्या गोष्टींमधून खायची सवय असते.
करेक्ट.
म्हणजे तुम्हाला ती कोल्हा आणि करकोच्याची गोष्ट लहानपणीची तर माहिती असेलच,
राईट.
की ज्यामध्ये करकोच्याला जर खायचं असेल तर त्याला
ही
काहीतरी
हॅज टू हॅव अ
खोलगट
जार.
गोष्ट पाहिजे, आणि जर कोल्ह्याला खायचं असेल त्याला पसरट भांडं पाहिजे.
करेक्ट.
तसंच प्रत्येक पक्षाला एक वेगळ्या प्रकारची चोच दिलेली आहे,
करेक्ट.
आणि त्याचं खाद्य पण वेगळं आहे. त्यातनंच या वेगवेगळ्या टाइप्स, जे बर्ड फीडर्स आपण म्हणतो, त्याची उत्क्रांती झाली असं मी म्हणेन. कारण
राईट.
नेचरने त्यांना, नेचर हॅज गिव्हन फूड टू ईच अँड एव्हरी बर्ड where he belongs. So
राईट. करेक्ट.
that bird has its own, spectrum of food which he will get as per his quality of body.
Foraging.
So
That is what
yeah,
foraging
yeah,
means.
means it's a kind of a area where that bird will go easily,
Easily.
find his food.
Yes.
He will able to get that food as per the anatomy of his body.
Correct. And
So
requirement also. As per
yes, but
seasons.
absolutely. So in nature, for each and every bird, there is a different habitat is given,
True.
and it's a mixed habitat actually. That's why mixed birds comes together and they eat what they need. Some birds are insectivorous, some birds are fruit eaters, some birds are nectar. They love to have nectar.
Yeah. Nectars.
Some birds are there, they eat.
Peckers.
They are omnivorous, so they
Omnivorous.
eat insects also, they eat seeds also, they eat whatever comes across. Some birds are scavengers also. So all these birds are opportunistic and they have their own set of food which they need to eat. So before going into the types of feeders, I will say we may have to understand which birds we want to keep
Invite.
in mind, uh, which you want to get in your balcony for feeding purpose. So many type of bird feeders came in between, and they are developing more and more. In that, from a simple tray feeder to tube feeders are there, nectar feeders are there, then hanging feeders are there. Some feeders you can just place in your balcony corner.
Okay.
Some feeders are there which comes with water as well as food. Some feeders nowadays, the you can say the one which are more advanced feeders, they have cameras inbuilt into it.
Okay.
So you don't need to open your window to see the bird
See the
which
bird.
is feeding,
So it's
because
recorded.
birds are
Wow.
very shy. So when you open window to see, or even if you try to come close to the window, they try to fly off, or they get scared and they fly. So in that case, nowadays people use cameras, and they attach that camera to the big screen of their home, and there they can easily see which birds are coming. They can record their movements also, and without disturbing bird, you can see the bird very closely and observe them very nicely, and you can even keep a count of birds, which
Wow.
how many
Yes.
different species
Yeah,
of
that
birds are there
becomes a
that you
helping
can see.
helping hand for the researchers
Yeah.
to know about
So
what type of species comes to your balcony. And Dinesh, wonderfully you explained about the tradition that has been going on from past many years, and the aspect of bird feeders. Like if I have to consolidate it with the pointers about the feeders, that the sections of the feeders that you said, that inbuilt cameras, these are all commercial. I'm sure the commercial traits would be plenty in the near future, where documentation and understanding behavior like the camera traps will also be there. Over to the next question. What type of bird feeders are commonly used, and how do they attract different bird species? You've explained that, but I'm talking about in the residential area. What exactly the type of bird feeders you recommend? Taking into consideration about the cleanliness and everything, it's just much easier. Like most of this practice is done by senior citizens because they want to fight the loneliness. Second thing is they want to cultivate a habit between their grandchildren about ecology, ecosystem, and conservation, and all that. So, how would you give your perspective on that?
see, I
Or would you
feel
not recommend bird feeders at all?
yeah, it's a little tricky question, but I will suggest like the person who is planning to feed the bird,
Huh.
he should have he may have to have his own research, a little bit of research on his own, to find out the you can say the reason why he want to feed the bird.
Okay.
Okay, there are many good reasons are there are many things which are problematic to the birds,
Yes, yes.
and if the feeder who
Yeah.
is planning to do this, you can say,
किंवा हेतू कसा आहे माहिती नाही ना त्याचा.
yeah,
की
yes, so
इलिगल ट्रेडसाठी सुद्धा जर करायचं असेल त्याला ते इलिगल ट्रेडसाठी तो पक्ष्यांना बोलवेल आणि पकडेल आणि
no, no,
देईल
that
असंही
is
होऊ शकतं
absolutely
त्याने.
no. Yeah, I think
ते नाहीच
everybody
व्हायला
should
पाहिजे ते.
scare of God and don't, they should
Fear
not
of
do all
God
these
is there.
things.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I think the people who want or who do this, they mostly do because they want to
They
give
love the
something back
animals.
to the
I truly
nature,
agree.
and they feel like few seeds which they give can give little stomach full to the birds. And
Ah,
nowadays
true.
in every city, in every village, redevelopment is going on,
Correct.
and the natural habitat is getting
Getting
affected.
distinct, extinct.
Birds are trying their level best to survive. Each animal who
True.
comes, or each life which comes on this earth, want to live, want to survive, and they fight for it. So this type of feeding gives them little bit of chance to survive. So
Yeah.
I think this feeding part, more means I look at it at very positive way.
Yeah. Same.
I
Same
don't
here.
want to
Same here.
jump directly to the negative part of it,
Huh.
because I want people to get close to the nature. I
Correct.
want people
Correct.
to love
Correct.
their neighborhood, and the
Correct. And
whatever,
increase the
yeah, for
avian population.
whatever fauna is there around, they should understand and try to love as they love their family members.
Very true.
So
Very true.
definitely this particular bird feeding, I will suggest, like, you can start with a very small start also,
Stepping
like,
stone, a small stepping stone for
yeah,
those who
yeah,
are
just like a small
freshers to
step, you
this
can go ahead. You can first keep water for the birds, just to see how many different types of birds comes to your
vicinity.
bowl to
Wow.
drink water, because most of the time even water is not available for them.
Yes.
Everywhere there is
Yeah,
concretization,
I could.
everywhere there is
Yeah, I remember this
development is
very
happening.
much because opposite our building, there used to be these rose ring parakeets and Alexandrine parakeets, where they used to fetch water from the pipeline. And
Right.
I mean, they are very fierce in, even disrupting the nut. And ठिबक सिंच असायचं तिथून पाणी पडायचं. Like
Right.
literally droplets of water also, they used to quench their thirst and they used to go. Like, I have photographs of those.
Right.
We'll share that later.
No, because they don't have any option.
Correct, correct, correct. But they are very
They
smart in that when they have to
You can
fend
buy
for it.
a bottle of water for 10 rupees, but
Correct.
it's very difficult for them to
For
get
them
water.
to
So
get
I
water.
always tell people that before
Yes.
starting feeding, you should start feeding water.
Yeah.
That is one of the great service you will do to the nature. At the same time, you will come to know what kind of birds are there in your vicinity,
Vicinity.
and according to that, you can again need to do your research. What best food you can offer to them, so they will have at least one meal peacefully with a proper nutrition. So that will definitely encourage these birds also to come close to your window, because water is something which all birds will have.
Everyone.
When you will keep any food,
Correct.
that time there may be a question like, they may not like that food, or that may not be their food.
Correct.
But to understand, once you'll understand that what kind of animals are and birds are around, so definitely you can give the food which is useful for them. So I think that is the first step anyone can do
Uh,
very easily
to
without
point out that
any.
the water, as in, I like the observation here also with the water is most of the time, most of these veterans here, which are senior citizens, they keep complaining about that की पाणी ठेवलं तर कावळा आला आणि कावळा येऊन नासाडी केली बऱ्याच
Right.
गोष्टींची कारण कावळ्याला ओलं लागतं इट रिक्वायर्स
Correct.
वेट फूड सो इट
Correct.
डिप्स इन and it brings in anything. So there are
Right.
certain communities which says that okay, I have seen this during balcony birding, and while I was staying at a place where many of the residents I used to speak. Why? What happened? It takes hell lot of patience and more involvement towards changing the water. And
Right.
then
Right.
some where some get irritated because it happens that
Yeah,
they
yeah.
have to clean the water always.
Exactly. I can give you n numbers of examples
Ah,
where crows plays a bigger role
yes,
in
yes.
you know reducing the uh, enthusiasm of
True,
keeping water also,
true,
because
true, true.
they, from a rat to chapati to anything what they find, they get and dip into that water and try to hydrate it and then
Hydrated.
they eat.
Right.
But see, you
That
need
is
to
what.
understand their logic
Yes,
also.
yes,
They
absolutely.
want to eat as per their way
Their
of
way.
living,
Correct,
whatever
correct.
it. Okay, and water is something which is like a luxury
Yeah, yeah,
for all the
absolutely.
birds in Mumbai, I can say.
Yeah, yeah.
So you are providing something with this type of luxury.
Luxury.
They will try to use as much as possible.
Yeah, I
So
gave options
definitely,
of having 2, 3 water bodies. So
yeah,
there,
that is one
not in
thing.
every water body the crow is there.
No, the crow have ability to
Yeah,
spoil all the water
all the water
bowls
bodies.
also. But I can suggest you one good thing is there are some seepers are available. Okay,
Okay.
and birds are very clever. Birds are very clever, and as you mentioned, like how they drink water from a dribbling
Yes. Pipe
pipelines.
pipeline.
The same way, there are some water feeders for birds where only their beak can go inside,
Okay.
nothing else,
Okay.
and it gets auto filled as the small portion of that feeder gets refilled.
But are
uh,
these
and
are these done as per the beaks of the bird? Like for example, the sunbird
for
has a longer
no, no,
beak.
for that reason only, I said first you have to keep the normal bowls.
Ha.
Okay, just to understand what kind of birds comes.
Okay.
1 day, 2 day, or maybe a week will go in cleaning the vessels properly,
True.
and to understand how many times crows comes, how many times other birds comes. Because when crows are there, the other birds may feel little threatened to come close.
Yeah.
So you have to see that very patiently, and you have to
Correct.
make some corners safer for the birds which you want to
No,
protect
protect.
from crows.
True.
Normally, there are some feeders available which are like weight sensible. They can't take weight of a bigger birds, or bigger birds don't feel comfortable to sit on
Sit
that
on that. Okay.
because
So
it
they won't
moves.
sit. Weight
Yeah,
sensitive.
so that kind of feeders also you can use, where the crow or any other big bird will try to sit also, he will not able to sit because the perch will be so
Nice.
small
Nice.
that he will not able to hold on it. But of course, we want to give water to the crow also.
Crow also.
So
Yes.
for that, you have to make sure that every day, because see, nobody can drink
Restrict.
water without reason.
Correct.
He is thirsty, so he
Yeah,
needs
yeah.
water. So you
And
have to
I trust
provide
me,
that.
I don't hate crows. I love them. They are the
Yes,
most
exactly.
intelligent.
They
You
are the
could say
most
the
intelligent birds.
species.
Yeah, they
I
are
I
really
just love
most
them because their
intelligent.
adaptability is extended right up to Leh, Ladakh, Spiti
And
also, and
they are
everywhere. At
they are
higher
the
altitudes also you find them,
yeah,
and
they
they are not
have
fear. They are
motto to
fearless.
keep Mumbai clean. Okay, so
Absolutely. They
yeah,
are
so
those cops.
yes,
Very
they
good
they will tell
cops.
you,
Yes.
they will tell you where is the
All
snake. They
indications
will
and
tell
everything.
you
I
which
just
bird
love
is
them.
got entangled into on the tree. They are the
They're
alerters. Whenever there
yeah.
are more than 5 crows are there, I stop there. I watch up,
Same here. Same here.
see, like
Any predator
is
it
there
could
any
be.
problem?
Is there a snake? Is there a
Yeah,
predator? Is there
yeah.
someone
Or even
fishy who is
even
sitting
some
down?
bird
Even a
may get
human being, for that matter.
entangled into the manja or something,
Correct.
then also they will
Oh,
make you aware of it. So you need to call fire brigade and
correct.
make
Correct.
sure that bird is
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
released. So
And they
they
make sure
they respond.
they
Yeah.
respond.
So
Very true.
yeah.
Very
So I think
the
crows are
best.
good for
The best.
Mumbai. Yeah.
Crows
Uh,
are good for Mumbai.
See, the thing is, bird feeding or watching bird is an addiction.
True.
Slowly you will never know
Colors.
when you got addicted to it, because once you come to know that there are 5 sparrows are there in your balcony or nearby area, there are 3 bulbuls are there, there are 4 parakeets are there. Normally you don't know,
Yeah.
in your busy schedule you just keep on going
Correct.
to your
Correct.
office, coming back to home. But when you start observing this, then you'll surprised to know that you can tell at what time which bird you will find where
Yes.
in
Yes. Yes.
from your balcony, because
My
they are
post had that
so
recent
systematic.
post. Recent post
Yes,
had
they are so systematic.
correct.
They know. Means if you want to find a neighborhood
I
bird,
totally
you
agree.
will able to tell after some time that no, this bird will be here at 5 o'clock. He may be there at 6 o'clock. Where he sleeps, where is his
त्यांचा
nest,
काटा चुकत
everything.
नाही अजिबात.
Ah, and
7:30 म्हणजे 7:30. माझ्या बाल्कनीमध्ये 7:30ला नर्तिका हा पॅराडाईज फ्लाय कॅचर म्हणजे स्वर्गीय नर्तक तो येतो. आणि
5-6 meter here and there,
नॉट इवन
but they
वन
will be
मिनिट
there
मीन
here and there.
7:30ला मी बोलवलंय. आय मीन आय बीन
No, I'm
ऑब्झर्विंग.
saying 5-6 meters
येस,
here and there,
येस,
but
येस.
they will be
Within
nearby
that
only
area,
at that time.
within that area.
They,
True.
yeah. So that is something once you start understanding, then you will come to know that okay, as you know them, they also know you.
Correct,
You know,
correct.
they also know, they watch from a distance
Yes,
that
yes.
now he will come to the balcony, he will refill
See,
that thing.
I think
And
that
if it is empty,
it's a
that
give
also
and
they
take
will come.
communication, na? It's a
Yes,
give and take
they will come and
communication.
they'll tell you that your feeder is empty now. Who will fill that? So, so again, you'll remember, hey, I have to see that bird is standing there, and you have to feed that. So you'll refill, and then your day will start. Now, many people are getting aware about the freedom. Many
Freedom.
people are getting aware of freedom. And if you know, like how people used to keep parakeets in the home in small cages, birds in the cages, now as they are getting more educated, more aware, then they feel why to keep
Why
bird
captivate it?
inside the cage.
Why captivate them?
Yeah,
Rather
means
when we can
instead
see
of
them.
that, this is a safer way of getting close to the
Lovely.
bird. At the same time, give them their freedom, and you have ample of time to see bird close to you. Because in cage also, what you are going to do? You
That's a
are going
great
to,
moral there, Dr.
yeah, you are
Vinherkar.
going to keep the bird in the cage, and from that distance, close distance, you are going to see the bird. But that bird will have his own whole life into the
Liberty,
cage just
freedom.
to give you that feeling of getting close to the bird. So now people are
You're curbing
understanding.
his its liberty. That is not
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
You're curbing
So
somebody's freedom also. That is also not right. तुमच्या
right, and
सुखासाठी
everyone
तुम्ही त्याला
every
आतमध्ये ठेवताय. ते बरोबर
everyone
नाहीये.
gets
बरोबर.
life only once, I feel. So why to waste
Why
that
to
life?
waste that?
And now that's why many people now want to feed the birds. But of course, as I said, there are a lot of disadvantages are there. There is lot of wrongdoings are there, which is associated with the uh, you know less awareness. People don't, they do all these things without knowing what will happen. What they are doing is correct or wrong, that they don't know. From their side they are right. Means if you'll see, many people when they travel in a boat or they are crossing river bridge, they stop and they feed some kurkure to the seagulls. They while
Totally wrong.
you go to
Totally wrong.
Alibag in any
Yeah,
small
speedboat
ferry,
or something.
you take hundreds of people feeding some or the other things, and they
Gathiyas
enjoy
and
that. They make videos of it and they show like what they are doing, a great thing. But they don't understand that how harmful it is for that bird which
bird.
is eating that because he is getting easy meal.
Easy meal.
Okay, so these type of easy meals can create lot of problem to their whole population. So that nobody knows.
Huh.
So that's why these type of talks are very important, and people should get aware
Correct.
about what to feed, what not to feed, why to feed, and is it necessary to feed.
Huh. That is
Overfeeding, yeah, overfeeding is also not good.
correct.
Right?
That also
They
could
will
happen.
see
There are n number
a
of diseases there. We'll
small
come there
bird
later.
to fill his stomach. He fly so much, he try to hunt for a food, he do lot of energy, metabolism is there behind to get few seeds.
Correct.
Okay, so this type of feeding is always a treat for them, like without
Yes.
doing much. They can just come there, they make their houses also nearby only, they breed there and they come. So to get a food, they don't use their natural instinct.
Huh.
Okay, so that is also something which should not get affected when you are feeding any bird.
It might affect
So
even on the
all,
breeding cycle by
yeah,
giving birth to non-healthy, I mean, not so healthy
it-
chicks. You know.
you'll surprised to know even bird can get obese.
Ah, I
Okay.
know. I know. You don't see them cute. Actually, but
Yeah.
that cuteness is
Yeah.
different from the
Their
perspective
life
of health.
life
Yeah,
gets
it is
affected.
life-threatening actually for them. I have seen this recently because there are munias. There's a tree which has pods on it, and usually they have to forage those pods. I have seen passerine birds foraging them, but because of the installations of feeders, certain they are sitting on the tree only for take a nap, fiddle around with their own young ones.
Birds are very smart. They
Yeah,
know
yeah.
where the easy
But
food.
you know, they are constantly on that, but they're not foraging on the pods. Doctor, such a lovely way you explained about the morals behind understanding the mindset about that particular bird, understanding the behavioral habit about that bird, and how we have to understand. Because that's the language which usually we see and we believe.
Right.
We don't understand their language until we get into the crux of daily meeting that bird, you know, understanding what type of note or what type of voice or what type of physical gesture. Usually you come to know when you see sparrows, you come to know when you see corvids, but these parakeets, or there are parakeets, rosering parakeets and Alexandrian parakeets also, from them also you come to know because their expressions are mind blowing. But
Correct.
other than that, certain birds are there where complex intricacies are involved in understanding that particular bird. Ah, yes,
Yes,
it's
that is
very
the
important
most important
aspect for.
aspect, and I think any bird feeder should first think that will he able to take care of the hygiene when he
Ah,
is trying to keep feeders. Because I have seen people start feeding bird, they feel very happy, and then it becomes monotonous for them, and then they know that are aa gaye abhi wapas to chalo kuch to feed karte hain, and in that they keep on refilling the bowl or refilling the
okay.
tube feeders, but they don't maintain the hygiene, and which is I think very dangerous,
Oh.
because if you are feeding any bird, you have to make sure the pot in which he is
Or
eating
the
should
container,
be
which is there,
clean.
is very clean,
Yeah,
like how
yeah,
we
it
eat.
should be clean, like how
How
we
we eat.
eat.
Yes.
Okay, and it's our moral responsibility to keep the bowls very clean, the feeders very clean. You have to make sure there is no mold, there is no fungi, there is no any
म्हणजे
waste.
बुरशी येत नाही ना. Mold is,
हो,
I mean to say, let's put it in even in the vernacular language where
हो.
बुरशी येत नाही ना, फंगस येत नाही ना आतमध्ये. ते
कुठलं
लोक
सडलेलं फळ वगैरे तर नाहीये ना
सडलेलं
त्यामध्ये,
फळ नाही ना, फर्मेंटेशन होत नाहीये ना फळाचं, आणि फर्मेंटेशन
बियांवरती बऱ्याच
असल्यानंतर
वेळेला वेगळ्या प्रकारची बुरशी येते, आणि ते खाल्ल्यामुळे त्यांच्या म्हणजे जीवनावर बेतू शकतं, आणि
हो.
ते बिचारे तर तुमच्याकडे विश्वासाने येणार, आणि तुम्ही जे काही दिलं असेल ते आवडीने खाणार, तर त्यामध्ये तुम्हाला त्यांची म्हणजे जे स्वास्थ्य आहे, त्यांचे जे हेल्थ आहे, त्याची काळजी घेणं खूप महत्वाचं आहे. आणि मी तर म्हणेन की
Even they
जर
can get
रोज
infections, the throat infections and all, because of this
they can get hell
n
lot
number
of
of
infection.
infections regarding that.
See, nature is so great
Yeah,
that nature gives everything in a very pure form.
correct.
Okay, you can't beat a nature, but you can go little close to the nature. What
Now I
you are
get you,
trying to feed.
because I
Yeah.
have seen parakeets where there are certain those lumps here. You could say mites, the formation of
Hmm.
the mites on the beaks,
Right.
especially on the nose line,
Yeah.
on the beak. Then
You'll see a
the
lot of
legs,
ruffled
the legs.
feathers. You'll
Ah,
see
yes. Their
feather
neck
loss,
feathers are lost.
baldness. You'll see like they are trying to remove
Okay,
their own
okay.
feathers. So all these things happens because if you are
That is
not
very
taking care of
very
the,
sad to see them actually.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it
it's our
happens.
human error because of which they have to
Because
suffer and they don't know, and neither we
birds
know.
can eat only up to say 6 o'clock in the evening maximum. By the 4 o'clock only they stop
Correct.
eating.
सातच्यात
Maximum
घरात
extended.
सातच्यात घरात
So
असतात, त्यांच्या झाडांवर
आजच्या
असतात ते.
झाडावर. So
सातच्यात त्यांच्या
so they do that. But after that, whatever leftover is there, it is taken care by rodents.
Yes,
Okay.
I have
And
photographs
I've
of
seen,
these where
yes,
मी
I've
काढलेत
seen
फोटो त्याचे.
where people keep the feeding bowls in a such a way that night time rodents comes and they eat from that bowl, they shit into it, and if you'll not clean this properly, then the other parasites, the parasites coming from
Oh,
the
okay.
stool or even from skin, can get transferred to the bowl, and it will further get transmitted to the other birds also. So, moral of the whole thing is you have to clean the vessels every day. That is always better, because it takes hardly 20-25 minutes, to clean the bowls. Or you can use the disposable one also. Disposable means you can use the one which are made up of some material which is eco-friendly, and you can just
Dispose it of every
wrap it
day.
up, dispose it off every day, so this problem will not come. Or there are many other feeders are available which are sturdy, strong, and they can be cleanable, like you can literally clean them nicely.
Or the
So
easiest
that
way is get those feeders after 6 o'clock, get them inside. Instead of hanging them
absolutely,
outside, get
because
them
you
inside.
have to target
Yeah.
your
Like we put them in the sink,
feeding.
like how you clean your
Right.
utensils, even that
And you
utensil
can
also
always
should be
keep two,
clean.
three different sets of the
You can. That is
feeder.
another alternative.
So yeah, so
If
next day
if
you can
adds on
use
to
a
the
new one.
expense, if there is someone who cannot afford it, he can get that, recycle it, and clean it
But
every day.
but
Put
but
it
I will
inside
suggest
again.
that if he
Ha
can't afford,
ha.
then even the birds can't afford to get ill.
Correct.
So I think if he really want to
Wants
help,
to. Yes.
then he should do it in a proper way.
No. I
फक्त
totally agree
लोकांच्या
on
हा
that.
हा विषय जो आहे ना, तो लोकांच्या लक्षात येत नाही.
लक्षात येत नाही.
कारण हे भांड साफ करायला हवं होतं,
करेक्ट.
जे आपण केलं नाही का.
करेक्ट.
म्हणजे एखादे पक्षी बिचारे काय त्या ताटलीत बसून पण खातात,
करेक्ट.
ठीक आहे, आणि त्यातच शिट पण करतात.
करेक्ट.
त्यामुळे ते सगळं मिक्सर होऊन जातं. तर
करेक्ट.
हे नेचर जर असतं ना, तर लगेच मातीने सगळा तो भार आपल्यावर घेतला असता,
बरोबर.
त्याला त्याच्यापासून खत बनवलं असतं. पण आपण मध्ये असं काहीतरी टाकलेलं आहे की
करेक्ट.
ज्यातनं ते मातीपर्यंत पोहोचणार नाही ना.
मोचा
ते
पोषणार. इट
ते
वोंट.
मेटल आहे किंवा
या
ते
इट्स अ
काच
मेटल
आहे
ऑर
किंवा
इट्स अ
दुसरं काहीतरी आहे,
प्लास्टिक.
प्लास्टिक,
या.
व्हॉट एव्हर इट इज. पण
व्हॉट
त्याच्यातनं ते नेचर पर्यंत जात नाहीये, देन इट बिकम्स अवर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी टू
राइट.
क्लीन इट.
राइट.
Otherwise, nature has its own systems
सिस्टम
where
ऑफ क्लीनिंग.
it can take complete care of
येस.
each and
येस.
everything.
येस. येस.
असं आहे. त्यामुळे आता माझ्या मते अजून एक महत्वाचा मुद्दा आपला असा राहिला की फीडर्स कुठे असावे.
हा.
कारण फीडर्स हे लावताना देखील ना खूप काळजी घेणं आवश्यक आहे. कारण देर इज जंगल आउट देअर.
राइट.
ओके, तुमच्या खिडकीच्या बाहेरच जंगल सुरू होतं.
करेक्ट.
मग त्यामध्ये इतर प्रिडेटर्स पण आले,
करेक्ट.
आणि त्यांच्यासाठी हे फूड आहे.
राइट.
ओके, यू नीड टू
या.
अंडरस्टँड दिस ऑल्सो की आर यू फीडिंग द बर्ड्स or are you feeding the predators
Predators. Yeah.
by
That's a
by
cycle.
calling these birds close to
Yes, I
you.
can I can
And
understand this because there are opportunistics who
yes,
find these small installations, especially kites. I've seen them
exactly,
picking up easily munias and sparrows.
very,
They get the grub every day.
because they are also so smart
Yeah,
that they
so
sit
they
at
know.
a quite distance.
Yes,
Okay, they keep the bird feeder in range. They take opportunity and
we
try
faced
to.
this even in Uttarakhand. I'll tell you,
Right.
we had been at the Birders Den in Uttarakhand, and after we had a 4 day session, a 5 day session there, we came back to Mumbai, and we heard that there was leopard who was prowling on the birds which were coming there during the installations on the bird feeders. So just
Right.
imagine, I mean, leopard is
Well,
is
exactly.
there's a
So, see,
leopard there.
that's why I said it's
It
jungle
sends
out there.
that
Everyone
easy
has
food.
its own
Yes,
easy food mechanism where
correct,
they want to find the easiest way of feeding. In nature, it's absolutely normal. I
normal.
will not say if anything is happening inside the nature, but when you are luring the birds with the help of some food, then you have to make sure about their safety also.
Correct.
So the feeders should be kept in a such a way where it will be, yeah, safe
Safe.
for birds also. They can escape from there. They should have a enough 360 view where they can see if any predator is coming towards them. It should not be a hidden corner where their vision will get blocked. It should not be reachable by cats or other predators. And you should also see that it should be at a quite quiet place.
Quiet
It
place.
should not be near any
Any noisy
noise
area.
where they will lose their
Focus and
natural instinct
concentration.
to hear, because they
Ah,
are so smart that one small sound and they
they get
just fly.
distracted. Yeah.
Yeah. So if they get used to that environment, then they become little more relaxed, and in that they can get preyed by some other predator. So that is also very important.
Wow.
And you have to, while thinking of placing a feeding bowl, you can see it should be rodent proof, it should be squirrel proof. Of course, if you intend to feed squirrels, then you can make some arrangement for the squirrels also. But this bird feed should not be disturbed by squirrels, because squirrels, they, for their hunger, they are just like rats, so they try to destroy everything and they make that feeder open completely. They try to chew the holes which are made, and then you can't hold food for long time in that, and
Okay.
then again,
But
there will
how do
be
you
wastage of
segregate
food.
that? Because I have seen and in some residential areas where the feeders were being installed, like the earlier building which I used to stay, the opposite wing had a balcony, okay, and
Right,
it had a French door. So it had a closed window where you could say those blinds which were being installed from the window, an immediate entrance of a predator wasn't possible. An avian predator, I mean to say. त्याला थोडं
right.
स्क्वीज होऊन यायला पाहिजे त्याच्यातनं
Hmm,
तेवढा वेळ त्यांना
hmm,
मिळतो पळायला. पण
hmm, hmm.
एस्पेशली ग्राउंड फ्लोअर असेल किंवा फर्स्ट फ्लोअर असेल ना, तर मांजर पटकन पोचतं. पण
बरोबर.
से काइट्स आहेत किंवा कावळा आहे किंवा पिजन्स, पिजन्स आर पथेटिक ॲक्च्युली. दे कम अँड
Right.
डिसरप्ट
They
एव्हरीथिंग
are
आणि ते
intruders.
खाली
Yes.
ते इंट्रुडर्स. तर
Huh.
why I'm discussing this observation, because there might be plenty who might be coming across such observations in within their colony. So how do you segregate, especially a feeder for birds and a feeder for
See,
rodents?
there are ways. There are ways for that. First
Okay,
thing is, you get squirrel proof
installations,
installation also,
feeders.
which
Okay,
you can, yeah, you can do. In that, mostly these are like pillars,
okay,
okay, with a you can say like a umbrella. There is one metal sheet is there uh, at the base,
base.
at a
Okay,
certain distance, at
correct.
around 3 feet and all, because squirrels normally try to climb up.
Yeah,
Okay, so that particular umbrella like material,
material.
it don't allow them to climb up and reach to the feeder. Okay,
Okay,
and these type of feeders are mounted on the rods and at the distance of 4 to 5 feet above the ground level. These are the installations where ground floor is involved. Okay, you can install this in your balconies also, but they come little out, so I don't know if people will allow or not. But in building balconies, if trees are nearby, then only normally squirrels can reach to the
yes,
floor.
yes. The
Otherwise, they
branches
are
are near.
mostly on the right, right. So there are some installations are there where you can uh, have squirrels little away. You can feed squirrels in their different kind of feeders, so they don't trouble the ones which are like, if you have a mixture of animals and birds coming to the feeders, then you can segregate them by giving proper food. Of course, crows can come everywhere. Okay,
They'll
but
reach everywhere.
again, yeah, yeah. So they want their share in each and everything. So
Correct.
I think that you can't control,
Yeah.
but definitely squirrels you can control, and birds you can control. As I said, there are weight related feeders are also available. So even crow will not able to stand on that particular
Correct.
feeder, and normally they need something to balance. If that is not there, then they don't wait there for long. The same thing you can apply for pigeons, because pigeons are also another big problem in
Big, huge
you know
problem, especially.
huge problem in feeding practices. So you should also make yourself aware that how you can avoid excess feeding to the pigeons, and how you can control diseases coming from the pigeons.
Pigeons, yeah.
So for that, I think we have to take another
Another
one
episode. Yeah, yeah. All
episode
the
only to
diseases.
understand, yeah,
Definitely.
for pigeon related
Definitely.
issues. Okay,
Definitely. Definitely.
so that is, I think, a big topic.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. Lovely. We had a lovely time actually with discussing the first.
No, I am happy that you have taken this subject, and it's
Trust
a big
me, it was
platform for
been
me
there.
to give more
Yes,
information to
yes,
all
yes.
the bird lovers, that how we can safely do bird feeding and in a nature protecting manner.
Manner.
Okay,
Correct.
we should not damage the nature by
Correct.
our act.
Correct. Correct.
So that is, I
खूप
think,
गरजेचं
small
होतं.
things are very important, because even the bird feeders kept in a balcony or on a corner of your flat. Whatever excess seeds are there that fall down, they are eaten up by the rodents. Yeah,
मी
so that is also
त्याच्यात
another
काय
thing which you
प्रॉब्लेम्स
need
येतात.
to control.
येस.
You have to make some arrangements where the unused seeds which are falling down will be get collected somewhere,
हां.
under that pot only, so
Correct.
they will not go down
हां.
and create problem for other society
Other
people,
societies.
and we can control some hygiene measures also in a proper way, like that. So that is also very important aspect when you are thinking of feeding birds like
Birds.
that.
Wow, so much of insights. I'm sure we will jot it down in do's and don'ts, and in the
Right.
very nice manner, in a very systematic manner. I will chalk it out and again send it as a reminder
Yeah.
after every episode. So then it becomes
Right.
like a learning lessons for
Yes.
everyone, and easy
Right.
pointers where implementing those pointers wouldn't be much of a problem. We'll discuss that out. Even the sources, if you have about the feeders, that also we'll share on the links through our bio. So then, if people have to, get in touch with those type of bird feeders, from where do they buy it? The legit information about the type of bird feeders that have been there, so we can get in.
And I would like to suggest people that when you are thinking about placing any bird feeder, first thing you have to know, as I said, that which type of species of birds are there in your vicinity, and whatever food you are giving,
Identify
is
the
it
categories
useful for them or it is harmful for them?
harmful for them.
Like, because if you'll feed wrong food also, that is also not good for
Not
them.
good.
Okay, so you have to use a common food which most of the birds, around 60 to 80% of the birds will enjoy that. And while choosing food, try to avoid human food, the one
Okay.
which we eat. I don't want to take name
Names
of
about
the
the
brand. I'm
brands. Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
but
But
any
biscuits are
human
not. Yeah,
consumable biscuits.
sugar
Sometimes
related.
people give,
Eh, processed
yeah. So
foods. Processed
yeah,
foods,
that we should
especially
avoid
processed
wafers
foods.
and other
Correct.
stuff. अभी घर पे रह गया है तो दे दिया कौवे को. So
Nahi.
that should not happen. So while feeding anything, you should,
Think
it should
twice.
click in your mind that I am going to help this particular animal by feeding, or
The
I am going
intention
to
should
make
be
a harm to him. So once that difference will come to your mind, then I think everything will set properly. It's better
so
to not to intervene than to
not to
create
intervene.
problem by intervening.
माझ्याकडे बर्ड फीडर बाय द वे माझ्याकडे बर्ड फीडर नाही आहे, कारण मी नॅचरल हॅबिटॅट मधलेच घेतो. आमच्या बिल्डिंगमध्ये जे आहेत ना त्यांच्या ऑब्झर्वेशन्स करायला गेलो मी, तेव्हा मला कळलं की कशी गमती जमती असतात त्या, की यू कॅन
नक्कीच,
यू
नक्कीच.
कॅन यू कॅन यू कॅन स्केअर देम, बट ॲट द सेम टाइम एक पॉइंट मेसेज त्यांना पोचला ना की ते आर एज्युकेटेड, सो दे अंडरस्टँड की आता आपल्याला काय काळजी घ्यायची आहे त्याची,
बरोबर.
आणि
आणि
सोप्या
मला
पद्धतीने काळजी घेता येतील. So the second point, the second segment, let's question about the how do bird feeders support bird population, especially in urban environment.
you can say the motive behind keeping bird feeders in urban areas or where developing villages, or you can say yeah, in environment like Mumbai.
Huh.
The basic motive is that only to keep birds alive.
Correct.
Okay, because if you'll see nowadays that there are very few fortunate people are there who can see greenery outside their
Absolutely,
windows,
absolutely.
and I am one of them, so I am very happy. I have
Same
two
here. I am also lucky. I mean, cross
yeah,
my fingers.
yes, so I have Gulmohar close to me, I have Umbar close to me, I have people tree close to me, so my morning tea goes with the birds.
Have a
So
count on that.
I am one of the fortunate people from Mumbai who can see greenery from their balcony. But most of the people now know that they can see either toilet window or other
Somebody's
yeah
the cement jungle.
yeah. I mean, you just need to see some window, okay, and nothing else. So you have to keep your windows closed by
Closed. Yeah, yeah,
keeping curtains
absolutely.
on it,
Peeping
okay,
toms,
because
you find
then
peeping toms. You
you
find
you
peeping
you
toms
can't
a
see.
lot, especially
Yeah,
when your
if
windows
the
are
buildings
open.
are so close to each other
Yes, yes.
that I mean you feel suffocated
मॉडर्न चाळी
inside.
आहेत झालेल्या,
हा,
मॉडर्न
एक्झॅक्टली.
चाळी आहेत झालेल्या.
हो, तर मग त्यात काय होतंय ना, त्यामध्ये जशी आपली अवस्था झाली आहे कोंडल्यासारखी,
तसंच झालं.
तशी पक्ष्यांना देखील कुठे बसायचं कुठे सावली मिळवायची हा खूप मोठा प्रश्न
मोठा
झालेला आहे
प्रश्न झाला.
त्यांच्यासाठी. आणि त्यात म्हणजे यू जस्ट इमॅजिन की तुम्ही आज ऑफिसला निघताना पाण्याची बाटली विसरला, की पाण्याची बाटली नाहीये. तर जोपर्यंत तुम्हाला पाणी मिळत नाही ना, तोपर्यंत तुम्ही कासावीस होणार. ठीक आहे.
सो
आणि हे
सो ट्रू.
रोज रोज त्या पक्ष्यांना भोगावं लागतं. रोज पाण्यासाठी वणवण करावी लागते. आणि तुम्ही बघाल तर हजारो खिडक्यांमधनं 10 खिडक्यांमध्ये कदाचित पाणी असेल आजच्या तारखेला पण.
खरंय.
ठीक आहे. आणि त्यांना उन्हाळ्यासारख्या वेळी किंवा ज्यावेळी भर दुपार आहे, अशा वेळेला पाण्याची तहान तर सगळ्यांनाच लागते. तर त्यासाठी तरी पाणी ठेवणं हे प्रत्येकाचं कर्तव्य आहे. जर तुम्ही असं ठरवलं, की बाबा मी स्वतः एक पक्ष्याचं रूप आहे आणि मला जाऊन पाणी प्यायचंय
करेक्ट आहे.
आणि तुम्ही
वेटलँड्स
एका
कमी होत
रस्त्यावर
चालले.
फिरून बघा,
वेटलँड्स
तुम्हाला
लिटरली
कुठून
कमी
पाणी
होत चालले.
दिसणार नाही. तर पक्ष्यांनी
कुठे
मुंबईत
जाणार?
राहायचं कसं?
विहिरी पण नाहीये.
त्यामुळे आणि त्यांची राहायची इच्छा आहे. खरं म्हणजे तुम्ही बघाल तर तुम्हाला काही आऊल पण दिसतील. तुमच्या एसीच्या मागे कुठेतरी
हो,
राहतायत.
हो.
काही घारी
पाईपात
दिसतील,
चिमण्या
काही
खरखर
चाळुंक्या
करतात.
दिसतील. आणि जर तुम्ही नीट बघायला गेलात, तुम्हाला सनबर्ड दिसतील, तुम्हाला तर वटवट्या दिसेल. ते लोक कसे तरी करून मुंबईत ते पण राहतायत.
ते पण
दे आर
राहतायत.
स्ट्रगलिंग टू
ट्रू,
लिव्ह इन
ट्रू.
मुंबई हाऊ वी आर स्ट्रगलिंग. दे आर रेडी टू अडॉप्ट दिस चेंज, जो त्यांच्यासाठी नॅचरल नाहीये. तो पण चेंज ते अडॉप्ट करून ते सर्व्हाइव्ह करण्याचा प्रयत्न
करेक्ट,
करतायत. आपल्याला काय करायचं, फक्त थोडासा हेल्प द्यायचंय.
करेक्ट,
थोडीशी त्यांना पुश द्यायची.
करेक्ट.
आणि त्यात ते आपण काय त्यांच्या घराचे ईएमआय नाही भरायचे आपल्याला.
सो
आपल्याला
ट्रू.
हा,
सो
तर
ट्रू
आपल्याला
मॅन. सो
फक्त
ट्रू.
त्यांना थोडीशी मदत करायची,
करेक्ट आहे. करेक्ट आहे.
ज्याने ते त्यांचं जीवन थोडं सुसह्य होईल.
करेक्ट.
आणि तो जो आनंद आहे ना, तो जेव्हा आपण घ्यायला सुरुवात करू तेव्हाच कळेल.
ट्रू,
तो असं
ट्रू.
बोलून नाही
हाऊ
कळणार.
सेड.
फक्त ऑफकोर्स त्याला जसं मी सांगितलं लिमिटेशन्स आहेत. त्याच्यातनं होणारे इतर त्रास देखील आहेत. ते जोपर्यंत आपण समजून ते काम करत नाही ना, तोपर्यंत आपण ही चर्चाच पूर्ण नाही करू शकत.
खरं आहे ते.
पुढे आपण अजून एक असा एपिसोड नक्की करूया,
नक्कीच, नक्कीच.
ज्याच्यामध्ये आपल्याला त्यांना फीडर्स लावताना काय काय काळजी घेतली पाहिजे, आपल्याला हायजीन मध्ये काही म्हणजे काही डिझीज होऊ शकतात का त्यांच्याकडनं,
हां,
किंवा आपल्याकडनं त्यांना काही डिझीज जाऊ
जाऊ
शकतात का,
शकतात का?
या सगळ्या गोष्टींचा विचार करणं पण खूप महत्वाचं आहे.
All my friends, you must have heard him how the plethora of knowledge he gave. That is the insight that we should take, we should absorb, and we should try to implement. So stay tuned with us for the next episode. Till then, take good care of the bird feeders that you are there, because the tips that you have heard what Dr. Vinherkar has said, suggested. Have a nice time bird watching. Enjoy your day and stay tuned for the next episode. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, Dr. Vinay.